Since jumping up 2 weight classes and taking on and beating Oscar De La Hoya. What does this fight against Shane Mosley do for Pacquiao's legacy?
Well, it leaves a question mark. It doesn't do a lot for it in a positive. I mean, if anything, it's either neutral or negative, to be quite honest with you, because it opens up the question. These last 4, 5 fights, 6 fights that have made him an icon, these marquee fights, who've they been with? One was with De La Hoya, who was a guy who looked like a shot fighter, dead at the weight. Another one was with Cotto, a guy who was a diamond fighter psychologically and physically after Margarito did what he did to him. Other was with Clottey, who didn't fight. He just covered up all night long. Hatton was made to order. Margarito looked like he had no strength. He was dead at the weight. So it makes you start to think that. And of course, Mosley, almost 40 years old, came with no effort, it looked like, to win the fight just to get his paycheck. It makes you start to wonder about his legacy. Has he been built up with guys that were perfectly picked, perfectly matched, where they had problems, and that's why he was able to win so convincingly, and that's why he's become such a star? I know he's a terrific fighter and a terrific talent, but it kind of asks that question. Has he been in there with a bunch of setups?
Yeah, but who has he missed then, marching up through 147, Teddy? I mean, we were thinking, oh, it's Andre Berto. Now it's not Andre Berto. Who's he missed?
Well, I mean, Mayweather, of course, people will say that Mayweather didn't want to fight him, but Mayweather was ready to fight him if he would give a tube of blood and take Olympic-type testing to make sure that he's not on performance-enhancing drugs. So that fight right now is not being made. But you got Tim Bradley out there. You know, some people would say maybe Bradley's not big enough, strong enough, but Bradley's quick. He's undefeated. He's a real game son of a gun. He will do more, much more, in a live sort of way than a 40-year-old or close to 40-year-old Mosley. But, you know, I agree with you. There's not a lot that he's really missed there. There's not a lot of guys there that you could point a finger and say, well, you know, you avoided this guy, you avoided that guy. I'm just saying that the guys that he did fight were perfectly set up for him. It's not maybe his fault, but they were guys, one way or the other, had a little bit of a flaw.
Teddy, what's left for Sugar Shane Mosley?
I think to retire, and maybe do something else in another dimension of boxing. After that effort, I don't see anybody that's going to be willing to really pay him for a fight. I mean, can he be plugged in as a stepping stone, as a former champion, as a name that you can sell? This fight was sold on his name,
yeah,
and it didn't work out well. Can they do that again? I don't see him being competitive with the young Tigers, the young guns.
All right, Teddy Atlas, we'll talk to you again. We'll talk about Kelly Pavlik and much, much more. Right now, let's look ahead here on